like we said, 4-0 in his megabuck plays and the first megabuck plays. Let's talk a little bit about Cincinnati at Arkansas. We've got Arkansas -6 and the total's 52.5. So what are we liking in this one? What's up, everybody? Don't forget about our new sponsor, Caesars Sportsbook. They're giving you up to $1,250 in a risk-free first bet and 1,000 Caesars reward points and 1,000 Caesars tier credits. This is big time value for all new accounts. All you got to do is download the app onto your phone and use the promo code MORNINGFUL, or check out the description of the video and click on the link.
Well, I certainly have a side here that I have a strong opinion on. It's going to be part of Parlay. But I also wanted to mention to you, in college football, and you know this because you were here every week with me, 9-0 called games of the year. And we're looking to just improve on that right now with our first megabuck play this Saturday. Probably a part of a trio of games, or maybe my Fab Five, but a little early in the season, be posting 5 games, in my opinion. So let's think of this first Cincinnati Arkansas game. Is that what I'm looking at here?
Yes.
You know, I think the opinion of Cincinnati this year is that without Desmond Ridder, who won like 43, I'm going to look at it, 44 games in his career at Cincinnati, that everyone's going to expect a major drop-off. But you know what happens, Allie, with these clubs, that they're building their program and they're building their quality players. And Cincinnati's been on the rise for a while, and I expect them to maintain that plateau. Whereas Arkansas jumped up last year, had a really great season. They were 4-4 in the SEC. And let me see, they were 8-3 on the year. And they made it to a bowl game. And everyone's, I think, anticipating a little too much out of the Razorbacks. I think they're too highly touted this year. And a lot of that, I actually believe, is on the backs of that game they played against Alabama last year, where they took the Crimson Tide down to the wire and lost 42-35. And that remains in people's heads. I think there's a little bit too much respect for Arkansas here and not enough for Cincinnati, particularly after the way the Bearcats were annihilated in the bowl game when we finally gave the Big Five non-conference play a chance. And look what happened. They were disgraced. But it's also happened to the Power 5 teams as well. We remember Notre Dame going into the Final Four a number of times and just being waylaid. So I look for Cincinnati to come back here and be strong, and I'm looking for them to have a chip on their shoulder and to be playing hard in the first end of this parlay. This is a 3:30 Eastern start. And the second half, you're going to be able to just double up on this when it comes down, because the Irish are going down, and they're going down big against Ohio State. That 17.5 points is a great indicator. You know, I had predicted C.J. Stroud of Ohio State to win the Heisman this year. My long shot was the Purdue quarterback O'Donnell. But listen to these numbers. Last year, he threw for 4,435 yards and 44 touchdowns, talking about Stroud for Ohio State, the 17-point favorite. And we've got, of course, Ryan Day, probably very underrated as a head coach at Ohio State, going up against newcomer Marcus Freeman. This is his first opening game. The players seem to love him. They say Notre Dame's responding to him, but I really don't know if Notre Dame has the talent to stay on the level of this Ohio State team. And the thing Ohio State has this year that they've had year in and year out, speed, and it's the one thing Notre Dame has lacked. They got a big, great tight end that's going to go into the NFL without question. But again, they're spotty at quarterback. They were spotty at quarterback last year. Tyler Brenner's going to make Buckner, I think his name is, going to make his first start. And here we have C.J. Stroud already having thrown for 4,400 yards. And Brian Kelly's gone. And I think the Irish are in for maybe not so much a long season, because they will get better as the season goes on if this Marcus Williams is as good a coach as everyone says he is. But here, I don't think they're going to have a chance. I think they get slaughtered. It's a late game Saturday night, and watch for the Buckeyes to just roll.
Watching for the Buckeyes to roll. All right, so your two-team college football parlay, we're taking Ohio State -17 and Cincinnati +6. That pays out +260. That's a beautiful thing. Chip, thank you so much for cruising by the Power Hour today. Remember to find his premium plays over at picksandparlays.net and use that promo code NFL. It's going to save you 20% off. Chip, thanks for coming by. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Allie. Always a pleasure.